I've made a couple of videos now predicting that Disney, Marvel, will eventually have to at least bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, if not the entire original Avengers cast, in order to try to restore some degree of credibility to the MCU and recover from the lackluster and message-driven fourth and fifth phases. In whatever contrived and complicated way they choose to resurrect dead characters like Tony Stark and, of course, Natasha Romanoff, it will only prove that the studio failed to appreciate that the MCU's story had come to an end with Endgame, and that there's nothing to be gained from flogging a dead horse. This article is from Bounding Into Comics. Rumour, Iron Man actor Robert Downey Jr. has agreed to return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This new rumour comes courtesy of scooper My Time to Shine Hello, who wrote on X, RDJ already agreed to come back. This rumour comes in the wake of a previous one from Tatiana Siegel at Variety, who claimed, "Sources say there have been talks to bring back the original gang for an Avengers movie. This would include reviving Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, both of whom were killed off in Endgame." However, Siegel noted the studio had not committed to the idea yet, and salaries such as Robert Downey Jr.'s $25 million for Iron Man 3 could be a hurdle. Really? That doesn't sound like very much money when you compare it to the staggering budgets of some of these movies. Marvel Studios producer Stephen Broussard informed Gizmodo back in February that Downey was off the table. Well, I think one of the meta-narratives of Phase 4 was about new characters. It was about new people stepping into mantles. If you look at like Cassie Lang from Quantumania getting a suit and Kate Bishop in Hawkeye, new characters being introduced like Jack in Werewolf by Night. Who? Who are we talking about? I don't know who Jack from Werewolf is, and Cassie from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye TV series, character names with 0-star recognition, so most people have to Google them to find out who they are. Yeah, I know that Cassie is Scott Lang's daughter, but Scott Lang was the main character in that movie, and I haven't got a clue what the name of the actress who plays her is. At least with the original Avengers cast, everyone knows the characters' names and the names of the actors who play them. That's how significant those characters and the stars behind them were. He then shared, after these first 10 years of Marvel storytelling, torches are being passed, like with Robert Downey Jr. no longer being on the table and stuff like that. So it was kind of like a new generation stepping to the forefront, which, again, has always happened in comics. Downey commented on a possible return to GQ in April 2021. "I have alighted for now. Real world to save, but never say never. However, there have been numerous rumours that Marvel Studios is planning to soft reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe with their Avengers Secret Wars film, and that Downey and other previous Avengers actors will return." It just won't be enough though, will it? I mean, the first 3 phases were a creative golden age for the MCU. Now it's all been done. Even if the woke stuff was stopped, or was dialed down a bit, you have to ask, are Disney Marvel able to make consistently good movies like they once were in the first 3 phases? The multiverse stuff is also a mess. And like I said before, it robs a story of a sense of, important consequences for actions. There's no real danger when characters can just be brought back from the dead endlessly by opening some kind of portal to another universe, universe number 5,643,000, where an alternate variant of the same character is still alive. MCU The Reign of Marvel Studios author Joanna Robinson alleged during an appearance on the Watch podcast, "Well, that's what Secret Wars probably is. I think that's exactly what Secret Wars is. We have a quote from Kevin Feige sort of implying as much, that like Secret Wars will serve as a soft reboot in which they can prune everything that's not working and just keep what is, or bring back people you thought were gone forever. If Chris Evans is like, you know what, my post-Captain America career is not going the way that I wanted to, I want to come back and pick up the shield. Or Downey's like, you know what is too much money? Scooper Sil Abdul also posited back in September that Secret Wars would be effectively a soft reboot to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No one knows how to end a franchise anymore, do they? They're just like permanent entertainment fixtures in our culture. Unending and constant. As a result, they overstay their welcome. And I mean, this is true of most franchises. Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, whatever. Realistically, they should have been retired years ago. But Hollywood is extremely risk averse and just doesn't want to take chances on new stories, new franchises that don't have an existing fan base. It's easier to keep producing content for a pre-established franchise that already has a built-in audience. Tapping into nostalgia is also a powerful means of marketing a film or TV show. Anyway, the article continues. He said, "Is this going to reboot the MCU as we know it?" Now, the concept in 2015, Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, is that all of these different Earths were kind of molded together. Yes, Feige is basically taking pieces of stuff that he wants to keep from all of the different realities, and he's going to put it together as a new Marvel universe. Abdul then reiterated the MCU Earth 616 as we know it, that's going to be gone. Not as far as erasing the history of the stories, but that's not going to be the same Marvel universe by the end of Secret Wars. Look, I'm not a comic book reader, I admit that. I like watching movies and TV shows, so maybe this kind of multiverse stuff works well for comic books in the comic book format, but this whole multiple realities molding together idea sounds like it'll be a chaotic mess, and it just robs past storylines, deaths, and events of their impact. The article goes on to say, Scooper My Time to Shine Hello also previously indicated that Secret Wars will change the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in September. He wrote on X, "If Endgame was the closure to the beginning of the MCU with Iron Man, then Secret Wars is the finale to the Marvel franchises that came before Iron Man and the MCU." But what Marvel franchises are we talking about here? The X-Men movies? The Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies maybe? The Fantastic Four films? I mean, do they need their own closure after all this time? Didn't the X-Men films and the Tobey Maguire films especially already get closure? Why is this necessary now? Spider-Man No Way Home was a decent enough film by Phase 4 MCU standards. But let's be honest, the plot is basically just based on a gimmick. The multiverse thing allows for the novelty of seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man alongside Tom Holland. And it's great to see Dr. Octavius and Green Goblin again and all of that, but you can't keep that going all the time. All this reality-bending stuff without it becoming redundant after a while. It's just a cheap trick to get audiences to watch the film by using member berries and nostalgia. Moreover, it can also break the fourth wall a bit and strain credibility. So later in the article it says, Scooper Can We Get Toast also posited that Secret Wars will be a send-off to the current iteration of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He wrote on X, Feige is making Secret Wars the send-off to not only the current MCU, but all the Marvel movies that came before Iron Man. It's the ultimate soft reboot, to make way for something all new and all different, the Scooper added. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but, call me cynical here, but I suspect it's not going to be all that new or all that different. Perhaps more like derivative. As with all new eras of superhero franchises, it'll be likely a repackaging of old ideas and old stories and old characters in a new, updated skin. As for bringing back Tony Stark and other Avengers, well, what else could they do when the MCU has fallen as far as it has in recent years? It's also predictable, and I would also add, kind of tired. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.